All right, thank you. Bannock County Board of Commissioners are in session. I don't see any adjustments to the agenda, so we will move forward. We don't have anything on the ambulance district. So we'll just move into invoices, commissioners' reports, and credit applications. Any questions on this?
Nope. You're good with all of them?
I am.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve invoices, commissioners' reports, and what else do we have there?
Credit applications.
Credit applications, as requested.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have the payroll report, looks like. Oh, no. Yeah. Payroll report.
You're good with that?
Gotta read. I got new contacts, those in between, so you can't quite read and you can't quite see far away. Oh, this is a payout, okay. Payroll, okay. All right, I'm good with that.
Okay, I move that we approve the payroll reports.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Salary rate approval forms, anything special on this one?
No. I think it was that one,
Wow.
the bridge.
Yeah,
Yeah, just replacing the vacant position.
okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the salary rate approval form.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Alcohol permits, nothing special there.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the alcohol permits.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then ARPA invoices.
You good with all those?
Looks like we just have, oh,
So the one you're looking at right now is the final brickwork invoice for Veterans Building. We're gonna
Okay.
hold that check until the brickwork is complete.
How far were they away? A couple of weeks, I think you said, or maybe 3?
Originally, they said it was gonna be done August 1st. Now they're saying between
23.
August 1st and the 8th.
Oh, the 8th? Oh, that's a lot faster than I thought. Okay, that's
But
good.
regardless, it'll be done by middle of the month.
Very good.
so there's like 3 different invoices here. Do you want us to sign each one of those?
Yes, you
Okay.
have to,
Okay,
because they're all different projects.
okay, that's what I thought. I'm just verifying that.
Yeah.
Move that we approve the ARPA invoices as presented.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have a certificate of residency. Looks like Jason has sent it to us. Jason, any comments or questions on this one?
No.
Nathan?
Move
Okay.
that we approve the certificate of residency as
Okay.
presented.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I believe that is it for business.
Commissioner, will you double check all 4 of those articles were signed?
I need to sign that one.
Oh, you do?
No, this one that's in your left hand.
All 4 of them?
Your big ribbon.
Good.
John, did you get that one right there? Okay. Now we'll enter into the work session, so right on time. Cheney, come on up. Cheney and Company, how's that? Looks like we're talking about the horse stall rental, self-service kayak, kiosk for the kayaks. Okay, go ahead, Cheney, introduce yourself, and here we go.
Cheney Coulter, event manager.
Thank you.
So Scott's going to be here to do the horse stall rental one. He should be right after us, but I'll go ahead and do the kiosk, and we have another contract for Sister City Foundation. So you can go ahead and come up. So, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Daniel Silva. I'm owner of H208 Excursions and hoping to put up some kayaks at the wellness complex, or some kiosk. The community can rent some boards and have some fun on the water.
How does it work?
It's just an app on your phone you download, and then you can interact with the kiosk and rent the paddleboard for an hour or 2 all day, however long you want. We also have chairs. You can rent some beach chairs. That's pretty much it.
So does it function kind of like the scooter rentals and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah, same thing, just through the app.
So how do you maintain or control loss?
They have to sign a waiver that they agree to, like if you don't return it, we'll just charge their card to replace the whole board
Okay.
or chair or whatever it is they rent. That's pretty much it.
All right, and then are you going to go up periodically and check on?
Yeah, I
things?
live here in Pocatello. I live like 10-minute drive from the wellness, so I can always, once a day, go up there, check on the equipment, make sure everything's operational and working condition.
Okay. Any issues, Janie, or anything you guys see?
No, so we've been talking a lot about this, and I let him know about kind of some of the vandalism issues, the kids that are running around up there, and he has his insurance policy will cover everything. They'll be up there to watch everything. It'll be on a spot near Pavilion 2 where it's out of our way if we were going to use Pavilion 2 or if anybody's going to rent it. It's solar powered, so they're not using any of our power. And like he said, they do have chair rentals, so I see this as maybe growing into something else for concerts if we decide to do stadium seat rentals for the lawn, which would be cool for the future down the road, but I don't see any issues with it, and I think it would be a nice thing for the community to have. I've seen it at other ponds around Boise where they have the kiosks and use them, and people really utilize them, so I think it'd be a good thing.
Okay. And then has legal reviewed this
Yes.
contract? Okay. Do you have any questions or concerns?
What's in it for the county?
So, we agreed upon the $90 a month, and that's what we do. He's gonna pay us $90 a month, and that's what we do for food trucks, for other vendors that we have where they come and utilize the facility.
You
And
picked it,
then-
you charge food trucks $90 a month?
Yes. And then, 3% of his sales for the month and end of the season. And then as it grows, this is negotiable. We discussed that too for next year.
How long is the contract?
It's just throughout the summer until.
Just the season.
Yeah, the season, until
October.
September 30th, August 1st.
Do you drop off this kiosk for the summer and then you take it up again?
Yep.
Okay, and how big is the kiosk?
I can pull up the dimensions. It's probably, I'd say 3 feet by 3 feet.
That's not very big.
Yeah, no, it's pretty small footprint.
How many kayaks does
So they
it
go
hold?
and there's boards in this thing and chairs, I guess, right?
Mhm,
You,
yeah.
and the instructions are probably on there that said, if you're interested in getting this thing, download this app with a QR code or something.
Yep, exactly. It's gonna have like poster boards on it with a QR code where you pull out your phone, it'll scan it, take you right to the app, and then you just use the app and interact with the kiosk.
And then you put your credit card in and then.
Yep.
How do you get the board out of this thing? You get a,
Again, it's through the app. So yeah, you put your credit card information in, you sign a waiver. It's a pretty lengthy waiver. You gotta be over 18, abide all laws and regulations of the state and safety guidelines. And you can't be under the influence, things like that, to cover liability on my end. But yeah, it's all just done through the app. And like I said, everyone's got a cell phone these days, so it's pretty easy to use.
So is there a lock?
Yeah, it's a lock mechanism, and that's through the app. It connects through your Bluetooth
Right.
on your phone, and that's how you interact with the kiosk.
Okay.
so when you
Minute.
interact with the kiosk and get the thing, they can only get the one board at a time, or they could just grab them all?
No, you could, it only has 4 different locks, so there's 4 boards in the system.
Okay.
So you select what lock you want to unlock.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you want to run all 4, you could, but you have to.
Right, I mean,
Yeah.
I just wondered if you did it once and then all the boards fell off.
Gotcha, yeah, no, just, you can select what board you want.
And then how do you return the board?
Same thing, it sets a timer on your phone through the app, let you know when your time's up, and you just go and return it. You guys ever done like car rentals where you like, in the app, you take a picture, show there's no damage, and all
I
inside
don't
the
use
app?
apps.
Oh, okay, all right. So it's all done in the
I
app.
have.
though.
I've used that.
So, sets a timer, you return it, and then inside the app, you have to take a picture of all the equipment to show that it's not damaged, it's been returned, it timestamps it, so everything's tracked.
Good grief. No, I'm glad I've not ridden cars, so.
It works pretty slick. If it's like the
Mhm.
scooter rentals and stuff, it's pretty slick, so.
The county's indemnified in this deal?
Yes, in the contract, legal went through everything and helped me with the contract, so we're all good on our part with the event center.
Okay. That's all I have.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
Can I ask a question? real
Oh,
quick?
please, yeah.
So you said there's a lengthy waiver they signed.
Mhm.
Does that waiver make clear that this is not like Bannock County equipment?
Yes.
or,
I have a
you know,
copy of the waiver if you guys
Okay.
want to see it too.
Yeah, do you mind real quick? So it does identify your company well, but, you know, let me ask, is this, can this be changed or tweaked or?
It's like a third party, because I'm basically like a franchise owner of the High Water app, because they developed the locks, the apps, everything like that, so that's why it's listed as High Water. But their attorney's saying the language used in it covers everybody, because it covers high water, it's the high water equipment. And also carry a $1 million liability policy.
Okay. And then what if the boards aren't returned? Like, what if they're just left down on the beach?
At that point, we would still charge the customer's card.
Who picks them up?
And yeah, I can retrieve them.
Scott Carter, Veteran Business Manager. Just, this contract is very similar to really any contract we have with rodeos, where they have a waiver of liability that the participants sign, but we require the insurance from them. And so in the event of a tort claim against the county from a third-party event, we use the contract and their insurance to protect the county. So we typically don't ask them to put the county in their contract. We use our contract and then their insurance to protect us.
Can you just get a copy of the certificate of risk management, just for our records?
A copy of this?
The certificate. When
The
they
proof of
issue it, they're
insurance.
gonna-
Oh, yes,
Sure.
I can do
They're gonna
that.
issue a certificate, right?
Yeah.
We have it, I can send it to you.
That'd be great.
And we tend to just keep those with our contracts, but we can for you.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. I would move that we approve the contract. Any discussion?
No.
Okay, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good luck, thanks.
Thank you, guys.
This goes to Jason for testing.
Was that just yours?
Yeah.
I just want to say what a great job I think that Cheney's done walking this project through.
Excited about this one.
Because this is definitely something that, as you guys that know me, know I tend to be a little bit leery and maybe quick to say no on things, where Cheney found a good solution and a good way for us to move forward. And I think you'll see more contracts like this for vendors to offer things for people at the wellness complex where we actually get a little bit of stuff in it. So,
I like that one. I'm excited.
Joe? What?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you again?
I'm very well, thank you.
Nice to see you again.
Yes, you probably say, oh no, here she is again, right?
No, this is a this is a great thing, so I like it.
I did bring some information for your, to look at. It's this one is our host, or the students and the chaperone that will be coming. I just thought you might want to.
Introducing yourself for the
Oh,
record. Sorry, Joe.
excuse me. I'm Joan Sayer. I'm with the Pocatello Iwamizawa Sister City Group.
Thank you.
Anyway, and then, so this tells you a little bit about all the delegates and the chaperone. This is our list of host families, and this is our schedule, and I would invite any of you to attend at any time. We love to have company. I'll pass that to you. Oh, you need longer arms, thank you.
So you want to talk about how long you've been doing this event, holding the event up at the event center?
Years. I don't know how many
I
years.
know it's been years.
I've been involved with the programs for 21, 22 years, so I've been doing this a long time. And we used to take the delegation on horses up in the hills, and we just kind of decided that that wasn't probably the safest thing to do with people who've never seen a horse, let alone get on one. And even though they were good horses and gentle horses, we worried about it. So we just started doing it up at the event center a long time ago to for safety reasons mostly. So
And this is obviously been doing this a long time. How many kids you got this year compared to
we
previous
have
years?
10 kids this year and one chaperone. So last year, I believe we had 6, and the year before that, we had 4. So a much larger group this year.
Cool. And it doesn't cause you guys any stress because you don't
No.
have to groom the arena for them?
Well, we will go and groom the arena for them. We'll just go and turn it so that it's safe.
Okay.
You know, but they do it in the indoor arena, which tends to be some of our softest dirt.
Okay. And so you're just asking for a fee waiver on the arena rental?
Yes, for a half-day fee waiver on August 2nd.
Okay, so it's $180. Okay. Any questions?
Nope.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the request as presented.
We have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You just don't know how much we appreciate that. It helps us a lot. So thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
Any more questions?
Nope.
We're good? Okay. Thanks for all your work.
No, no. I think I have an agenda, or a discussion on
Fee rentals, stall rental?
stall agreements, right, or stalls.
Yeah.
So I've done a little bit of digging, and I've actually found precedents for the direction I'm looking to move on this. But we have a handful of large rodeo events where we get a huge influx of people coming to rent stalls from us. Obviously, those people come day and night, they come all different times. And so we use a method where we'll, if we know people are coming to a stall, we'll clip their name on the stall, and then we'll go and unlock the stall so they can use them. Our day-to-day rentals are done with combo locks, so somebody can call us at home and we'll tell them this is the combination to get into your stall. And then we either have them place cash in our cash drop boxes, or we can take a credit card payment through our RecDesk app. For some of our bigger events, our bigger contracts, like our events, horse stall rentals becomes crazy. So the last event we had on the 4th of July, we rented out every stall that we could rent out down low. We restrict stall access up top because of the fireworks. We rented out every single stall we could have possibly rented out. The problem is more horses than horse stalls. And so at different times during the events, people would throw their horses in other people's horse stalls. Well, then the people that have paid for those things complain because they don't get their horse stalls. And we don't know whose bay horse is in whose, we don't get colors of horses and assign them to stalls. We don't have any idea whose horses they are. But the people that do are the people that run the events. So we can talk to those guys about a horse or see who's in there, and they can kind of usher those guys or get those guys taken care of. In our ISU contract, we have a stall rental split with those guys, where they manage the stalls. So the weekend of their rodeo, we say all stall rentals go through you guys, and we do a profit share with them. And that's what I'm looking to do on a couple of our big rodeos. Not the small rodeos, but not the small stuff where we don't run into issues, but the big rodeos. They have people that are there, they stay there overnight. Those guys will collect money, they're hound dogs against people. And so I want to have this conversation because our next big event is the Triple T World Series, the NFR qualifying World Series. We're open August 9th and 10th. And that is a huge event at our event center, and it's overwhelming for the people that are running horse stalls. Additionally, we're having a concert that same day, so our staff gets pulled in two different directions, and so we end up not collecting money from people that put things there, and then having to give refunds to people that do pay us. So what I'm going to propose in future contracts is just on some of those big roping events that as part of that contract that we do a stall rental split. They manage and care for the stalls, and then we split the cost with those guys.
Are you hoping to do that for this August roping?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Initially, I had thought about coming in here and talking about maybe just having the authority to give that on a case-by-case basis, because these guys all pay full fees for the facilities. They rent the facilities. They don't ever ask for fee waivers, so we don't run contracts with them. It's just a rental agreement. And so, but I also think that we have to have a contract if we're going to be splitting monies. There's got to be a way they collect the money, then they get us a check. Now we do this for high school rodeo with RVs. We do it with junior high rodeo for RVs. We do it with Idaho State University for stalls. So I think we have a precedent set that we have a method available to do this. And it probably would just be maybe 3 events a year.
Question that I have,
Mhm.
have you ever looked into, and I don't know if this is even possible, have you ever looked into some sort of electronic gate where you can swipe your card and have access?
So, I don't know if you remember, I mean, this is a little while ago, but we installed electronic payment boxes. When I say we installed them, the former director installed them, but there was never any communication on how we're going to collect the money, the accounts. So they've sat up there, never been utilized. The issue I would see with all the horse stalls is we just have 500 horse stalls. And some of them we can control, you know, they have good locks on them. Some areas they don't. And so running power to them, I think that we could possibly look at doing something like that. I would ask to wait on that. If we got a card reader, so people go and punch in their horse stall, pay for it, right? That would be great.
And that was looked into in the past. The cost, it just wasn't cost effective at the time. So that's something as we grow and update that facility up there, we could look at doing. I think this is a good fix for now and something that we can look farther down the road and start moving towards something like that. But I think this helps their staff and make sure that we get payments and stop having to refund people.
Well, and I think
It's a
we
good
actually
control
might
for now.
we might get more money, right? Like during
Yeah.
Ben's event, there are co-occurring events in the region, right? So there's stuff that's happening in all the areas around us, and so people just show up and throw horses everywhere. There's cattle runs, there's horses everywhere, and I know the guy that they use as their stall guy. He is a mean sucker, and he will track people down. And he'll be like, "You can't put your horse there, but since you did, you gotta give me $20." You know, he's that guy that will collect money from people. We haven't dealt with a horse hostage situation yet, but that's just a joke.
But you're a trained illusion.
But that is probably a good to look into again.
Yeah,
But,
I don't think we've looked at it since I've been here, so.
No, not since you
Yeah,
were here.
that's-
So it's been a bit.
So one thing that we're thinking
That's
about
been a long time.
with horse stalls, just as a way of, so we have down in the lower area, we have about 100, probably 150 horse stalls. And in the wintertime, that is where we rent our horse stalls. We don't rent horse stalls up top. We rent them just down below. We're actually talking about moving our horse stalls with runs up to by the fair, or up by the grandstands. And this is part of our contract with ISU that we're in the process of kind of renegotiating. We actually want to move all of ISU's horses and their kids up top, because there does tend to be conflict when their kids, you know, leave for a match and come back and somebody's throwing horses in their stalls. And people cut locks. We've had a lot of locks cut. We've had a lot of locks stolen. And so, you know, people drive $300,000 horse trailers and do not want to pay a $20 horse stall fee. I know that sounds crazy, but we're going to move some of those horse stalls up, because I also anticipate that road that's going to go through is going to impact that area. So we're going to be doing a little bit of shifting. So I would like to see kind of where we're going to sit maybe in the next 5 years, because that's going to be a big investment, probably the right investment, but it's going to be a big investment. But I just want to see how we're going to settle.
But if we keep this project in mind,
For sure.
as you're arranging, then we can maybe secure and just work.
I think-
out.
I wasn't even sure if it was a possibility to do something like that, so that was the basis of the question.
I think that we should really look at, like you've gone to a Maverick lately. They don't take cash.
Right.
They take cash, but you insert it into a machine. That the tellers don't handle money anymore. We really should look at something like that does credit cards and cash, and in a handful of locations across the complex, because I think that would really shore up some of our processes. Again, that would also eliminate people from dropping in $70 in Canadian dollar bills, telling us thanks for the horse place, eh? You know?
Yeah, because I have to take that to the bank.
Literally, he does.
That does happen
Or Jeff.
too. So, anyway, I think those are things to look at, but I do feel like for the purpose of this conversation about the stall rental agreement, I think we have precedent, so I'm just gonna write it into some contracts. And then on some of these bigger events, I actually would like to kick around the idea of maybe using us as sponsors in some of these big events, because like I said, they don't ask for fee waivers. So maybe trying to work a deal with these guys to get us on either their flyers or their social media, because these are good events for us to co-market in.
Cool.
So,
I don't have a problem with trying it for the remainder of the year, see how it works. Any questions, comments? Nope.
and I'll bring a contract.
Do we
I'll
have to
bring
have a
contract.
motion on this? or-
No,
No.
there's no decision. I'll bring a contract next,
Okay.
probably the next week or so, next 2 weeks, that has everything outlined so that you can see exactly what.
Okay, well,
Okay.
I like it.
As long as you leave it over there.
We did get a little bit of video of that last night. I did a little bit of video.
Matthew, you want to talk volunteer agreement?
You can stay right there.
Okay, Matthew Phillips, HR and Nurse Management Director. Tori Danner, coroner, recently had a nurse approach him about doing a volunteer opportunity.
You want to come on up, Tori?
And Tori, you're welcome to just explain the volunteer opportunity for this person if you want.
Sure. Good morning, Tori Danner, Bannock County Coroner. Yeah, ultimately what I had was a nurse that had approached, and she is looking to just advance her education and experience, and she kind of is looking to do that in postmortem investigations. She's a sane nurse. This is something that she just wants to come out and volunteer, shadow. She needs the hours. So as we looked into this, this would not be like an intern opportunity, and it doesn't really fit within the realm of what we previously had. So I approached Matthew to see if we had a volunteer agreement that would fit the bill for this. And this is what he's worked on and we've come up with. I think it's a great opportunity. People get experience and they get an opportunity to come shadow us. So.
And Tori showed me an old document that really didn't have a lot in it as far as, you know, just identifying that, you know, this is not a paid agreement, this isn't an employment agreement, so on and so forth. Basically kind of waving away a lot of the responsibility, you know, just to protect the county. So we've developed a new volunteer agreement and a packet really with some attachments in it that also include just a volunteer application with enough information so that we can, HR could do a quick background check on them, you know, just make sure we're not bringing in anyone we shouldn't to help out. We also have them sign off on the code of conduct just to make sure that, you know, when they're helping out the county, they align with our values. And then also the final appendix is just for there to track their time so it can get reported to auditing to cover them for work comp. We are, when I ran this past ICRIMP in their review, they said you're fine to do waivers and releases, just make sure you don't waive them off of work comp because we're not allowed to do that. I verified with the state fund that we have a volunteer endorsement on our plan currently. So this is basically just to actually give us a volunteer agreement packet that we can use, not just for this opportunity, but any other volunteers that come through to the county. So basically they'd fill this out, sign it, submit it to HR. We'll do a quick background check on it. I envision it being similar to SRAs where we just have them fill it out, we'll verify it, and then we'll send it on to commissioners for signature, just similar to SRAs. So
Same thing with the intern forms.
yeah.
Those are processed the same way too.
I just couldn't
What did you
find
say?
anything
Intern.
really on file for volunteers. And I think, Jason, you'd asked me to try to look into it when we had a minute, and this kind of came up, so I made a minute.
You had a minute. The only question I have, it
Yeah.
looks pretty good to me. Has legal just looked at this, or?
Yes, I've sent it to Brian. I actually had a conversation with ICRIM's attorney yesterday. He talked to me about point 12, talking about indemnification and release of liability. And it's a really broad release. And he said, you know, some of that may or may not be enforceable. But I kind of put it in there just as a discouragement of volunteers bringing claims. But if you look towards the end of the agreement, there's also a severability clause. So if any, you know, if that liability release is seen as too broad, should, you know, there ever be an issue, it doesn't invalidate the rest of the agreement. So after we had a discussion with it, he said, well, you know, actually, I think you can leave that in there. So,
Okay.
so yes, I've had ICRAMP. I think, Christy, you've had a chance to review it as well. And Jason, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the packet, but this is not just for this opportunity, but yeah, just so that we have a volunteer agreement / packet that we can use for volunteers moving forward. So.
Okay. John?
What did you say about aligning with our values? What did you say about that? I didn't catch that.
Sure. So in Appendix B, I just copied in the Code of Conduct.
Where's that at on this thing?
It's in Appendix B, so point 21, it's the second to last page.
Okay.
And that's basically that when volunteers are helping us and on our behalf, that they're conducting their behaviors and their conduct, they understand that they need to.
This is this one page here.
Yep, just the one page.
That's also extremely important in this scenario because if this person's going to be on the scene of accidents, they can't be posting it on social media, items like that. So the code of conduct is really important to make sure they are aware so they don't violate that.
Where in this thing would it address social media in this Appendix B?
I actually have a point on social media in point number. I also mentioned it in.
Is it in Appendix B?
I think it's in the contract itself is where I thought I saw
I saw it in the contract itself.
13.
It. 13 says that they have to keep things confidential.
But it doesn't specifically say social media.
But I believe, I'm sorry, let me do a quick search here. I know it's in here. Okay, it's at the end of point 4 on the first page, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we also asked them, the code of conduct is something different. That's just kind of our stated values that we expect everyone, you know, their behavior to follow. But yes, we also included them to follow the social media policy as well.
And you said you discussed this with Brian?
Yes, I've included Brian on everything. He hasn't had a lot of concerns. Brian's been very busy, to say the least.
So we know.
Yes, and I had a very good conversation with ICRIM's attorney about it yesterday too, so he felt comfortable.
Anything else?
Nope.
I'll take a motion then.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the and authorize them to go forward this volunteer agreement and in this specific instance as well.
Okay, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Looks good. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Melissa Hartman is not present. She wants to.
Didn't we already approve this a few days
I
ago?
don't have that on this one.
Okay.
Was that
Oh, this,
Tuesday?
yeah, it was. Okay. Good catch.
Thank you.
Okay, Miss Crystal.
Good morning, Commissioners. Shanda Crystal, Chief Procurement Officer. I have a procurement update for the board today. We want to start at the top for the Julie Program Event Center, new building up at the Event Center office. So that is the first new construction that I anticipate coming out of Booth Architecture. And so we've begun that draft, and so I'll have that down to Dan this afternoon to look and review. Once we have a 95 solution, we'll send it on to both Matt and Scott for final review and approval, and kind of work towards those items that we're going to weigh as part of that proposal and what kind of weight we're going to put on those. If we jump down to the ones that are active, for the assessor's office remodel on the storefront, we had the pre-bid meeting yesterday, and as Dan kind of alluded to before, he was uncertain of how interested contractors would be in this project. We did have no contractors attend, but as Ashley and Dan and I got talking afterwards, we've decided to invite a few more contractors that we hadn't considered before, and just see if we can't widen that net a little further and see if we can't get some interest on that. However, that will move forward. The questions are due on that proposal on Friday at noon, and then they're due on August 5th for that one. On the acoustic ceilings, we also had that pre-bid meeting yesterday. We had a contractor attend, and same scenario. The questions are due on Friday, and we'll move forward if we look like we need to have an addendum on that. And the same kind of story for the LED lighting. We had that pre-bid on Tuesday. We had a single contractor attend. We did have a contractor reach out to me and decline. They just are too busy at this time. They won't be able to fit in our project. So I appreciated them letting us know. But we did get a contractor there. He does have questions as far as the plans go on the project, and so I do anticipate an addendum on that project as well. If we go to the annex fire suppression, we received no contractors attended their pre-bid last week, and no questions were submitted to us. We don't have anything else that we feel we need to clarify on that project. Again, if you remember, we're going to attach the design of that suppression system in with the bid and for installation as well. So this is kind of how we anticipated this one moving forward, but we will not be issuing an addendum, and they'll move forward. Those bids will be due on Monday, the 29th at 5. On the annex HVAC, we did issue an addendum. There were a few things we wanted to clarify on that project. That was issued last Friday, and the bids will be due on Monday, the same as the fire suppression at 5 p.m. If we change over to the detention center cement polishing, we did hold a pre-bid on that one as well last week. We did have a contractor attend that. That one will be very complicated in the fact that we are in the pods doing this work. And so the gel is always very well versed in that, and super flexible in how they're going to move and adjust. And so they've talked through that, and we have received questions on that. We are finalizing that response today, and that addendum will be issued out by 5 p.m. today. On the commission for the security cameras, we have had a lot of interest in that project. An addendum was issued last week, and as I checked Bonfire this morning, we have 7 companies that claim they intend to bid on this project. We have seen people intend in the past and not follow through, so that doesn't stick them to putting in a bid. But we do have 7 companies that intend to bid, and then we do have 4 of them that have already started the process through Bonfire. So that one's moving right along. We have also had 1 contractor reach out to us, and again, because of the timelines we were putting on this project, they were unable to complete it because they had previous obligations to other clients. The last one I wanted to review with the commission is the detention center landscaping. We received no bids on that, and the commission canceled that solicitation. I did receive a bid in my email, which I forwarded to the sheriff's office for review. They have reviewed that and found that it meets all of their needs. However, the problem is funds. So part of that project, as we discussed with a contractor, we identified the need for catch basins at the bottom as the runoff comes down the hill and then comes in from the street. So that increased the amount that we were estimating and had an approval for. Our budget as approved is $97,325. The bid that was turned in that the sheriff's office would like to move forward with is $125,305, making it just short of $28,000 over budget. I believe he's reached out to Christy and had a conversation. There's a likelihood that other projects that the sheriff's office have going on will come in under bid. not bid. It's the wet cells. We didn't receive any bids on that. They went to a single contractor. But that one, we don't anticipate, we anticipate if we move forward with the landscaping, getting it done prior to the wet cells being completed. So that we won't know for surety that those funds are there till later. But that's the ask from the sheriff's office, is to move forward with this project, but they would need an additional about $28,000 too.
Tony and Alex came and visited with me this morning, and when they signed the contract with that company, because they're going to have to sign a contract to do the work, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's not going to be completed till next year.
So what the ask was on the landscape? No, I mean for the landscape. So to move forward with the project, I didn't know if the landscape project would need to have authorization from the board. So what I was going to do is ask the board if we could use some of the money from the wet cells to cover this project overage. The other option would be is when I do an ARPA update next week, I could run through some of the numbers that Tony gave me and say, we've got excess up here, can we reallocate it to this project and this project, still leaving some extra money in the wet cells project, but allowing moving forward on the others. So I'll either bring that before the board on Thursday next week, or if Tony has some sort of obligation on, I mean, maybe what could happen is on that invoice that you have sitting, or the quote, the board could approve it Tuesday to allow moving forward, and then we could have that discussion.
I would rather wait till we have some numbers to look at. I mean, I'm okay with the project, but I'd kind of like to see how things are going to shake out.
You're anticipating with all of these projects that there is going to be the money to move to cover this and everything else is taken care of?
When I spoke with Tony this morning, he thought there was going to be an overage in the wet cells.
An overage meaning we
We
set
have more
aside
money,
more money.
yes.
More money budgeted.
So we have more money budgeted in the wet cells than we need. We can reallocate,
Is he thinking there's 30,000 more?
yes,
Really?
yeah. But he's also got another project that may potentially be over budget as well, that he would reallocate those dollars down. Alex is gonna send me the information, so if Tony wants to get moving on this landscape project, he could either get on the agenda for Tuesday, or it can wait until Thursday when I do an ARPA update where we can do the formal reallocation of all of it.
How comfortable are you with Tony's statements?
Alex is very on top of the jail projects, and so with that one, I would be comfortable. I haven't seen all of the numbers on everything yet. Shanda has sent me calendars, but at this stage, I think these are kind of preliminary, so it's really nothing that,
And then what are you seeing? Are you kind of agreeing with her with what you're seeing?
So I just learned about the update with the wet cells today. So I told Tony that if he has talked with Christy, I am 100% behind Christy's estimating of where they are. She knows everything. So
I just need invoices and quotes. If I have invoices and quotes, that makes me feel a ton better. So I think that's what Alex was gonna provide me, which would give me that comfort.
When was Alex going to get you that?
As soon as he got back to the office.
Okay.
So they need to, basically to move forward, they need to come into us to
Well,
have
if it's
some kind of
gonna,
authority to do this, or
if it's
what?
gonna come in over budget, yes, they only have the authority to spend the 97,000. If it's gonna be more than that, then they need to get your guys' sign off.
Okay,
So that'll either happen if he wants to move fast Tuesday, or I'll get it from you on Thursday when I do the ARPA update.
So what are you asking from us right now?
We're just updating at this point.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay.
yeah.
It's just an update
Okay.
right now.
I'm okay if they look at it. I think we're probably be okay, so.
And the benefit would be is next year, this is gonna save them money because they're not gonna use the mowing contract that's in the budget.
Correct.
So there's a positive there as well.
Okay.
We'll have it on for Thursday.
right, as part of Christy's ARPA update.
I usually do ARPA updates on Thursday, but I can do it on Tuesday.
No, we can have them get on Thursday. I can,
Okay.
or I guess Shannon, if you want to, Thursday might be better.
Okay, Christy's got it. I think that would be perfect.
Thursday?
Excellent. Unless there's any other questions? Thank you so much.
All right, the last item on the agenda is the court administrator seeking to dispose of assets. The items are listed in the packet. Jason, any comments?
Nope,
Okay. John,
just
you have
old
any-
unused items.
Okay.
Just
John?
what?
They're just old unused
Oh, okay.
items.
Yeah, nothing too special.
Yeah, I move that we authorize disposal of all the items listed.
We have a motion.
I believe they're taking them to auction, is that right? I mean, they don't necessarily
It
have
doesn't-
to. Some of
It
them
doesn't say, it just says they have these and they want to
dispose of.
dispose of.
Yeah,
Anything that's auctionable, they should take, and otherwise garbage for what's not.
I think most of it could be taken to the auction.
Okay,
I'll talk to them about it.
okay.